two teams that are hoping somehow things will work out right and they will make it to the college football playoff. We're talking about Notre Dame and USC set to tangle tomorrow night at South Bend. And this is a look, if you're trying to make the case for Notre Dame and their possibility of getting into the playoff, this is a look at their resume and their opponents. Overall, you see at the top there, really the focus for me is the remaining 6 games. Look how strong those teams are at 31-7. But without a conference title game to add to their resume and with how much weight the playoff committee puts on conference titles, we asked Notre Dame insider Angelo DiCarlo how an 11-1 Notre Dame team can finish in the top 4.
They have the best schedule the rest of the season out of any team in the country. Now, that could change. If USC would fall apart, fall out of the top 25, finish with 4 or 5 losses. If NC State would fall apart, if Miami would fall apart, if Stanford would fall apart, then certainly that could take a hit on Notre Dame's so-called best schedule left in the nation. But I think that really would be the only way the Irish wouldn't get in at 11-1 with the fact that Clemson has already lost the game. The Pac-12's teams have all lost the game. I think the Irish are in good position if they win out that they should be in the college football playoff at this point.
Okay, so without a conference title game, do you see them as a possible, if they win out, can they get in
with
the
ease.
College football play? With ease?
With ease, without a conference title game, because you see that schedule, the opponents they have left. That's what, over 800% winning percentage.
Yeah.
816, I'm sorry, winning percentage. That's impressive. That has to be the best in Power 5 football. And oh, by the way, the more that UGA continues to win, that helps Notre Dame out. If the SEC gets 2 teams in the playoffs, that helps Notre Dame out. Because right now, we can easily see 2 conferences that have a conference championship game being on the outside looking in the Big 12 and the Pac-12. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Especially if USC loses to Notre Dame this Saturday. And we know about the uncertainty in the Big 12. They inserted a conference game, championship game, but we don't even know who is the best team. And do we foresee the Big 12 having an undefeated team come out of their conference? That's the issue for me. Because if the Big 12, if TCU happens to lose 1 ball game, you would take a 1-loss Notre Dame team with that loss coming from UGA over any 1-loss team in the Big 12. If I'm wrong, let me know.
I think Notre Dame, they need to win out. They need some help. They can't have NC State go out there and lose to somebody. Miami can't lose to somebody.
I don't see that happening,
They
though.
can't have Stanford lose any more games.
When you look at Miami's
if Miami
schedule,
runs the table, wins the ACC championship, case made.
But look at
NC
this.
State's, if they beat Clemson, case made.
Let's do this hypothetical. If Syracuse beats Miami this Saturday, Miami will fall out of the top 10. But Syracuse also beat Clemson, right?
Right.
But would that put a knock on Notre Dame beating Miami down the road? Clearly, I don't think so. Would you take a 1-loss Notre Dame team over a 1-loss Oklahoma, TCU, or Oklahoma State team?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Even though Oklahoma lost to Iowa State?
If you're assuming they all win out, if you're assuming NC State wins out, Miami wins out, Stanford wins out, then we can have that conversation. I just feel
that's a conversation.
They can't control their own destiny. They need help.
If NC
more
State,
than
Miami,
Oklahoma State, TCU, and those other teams.
More
than Penn State needs help.
If NC State, Miami, and Stanford wins out and Notre Dame beats all 3 of them,
then we can talk about
and would you take a 1-loss Notre Dame team if that happens over any 1-loss team from the Pac-12?
We can talk about it then.
You prove my point.
But they need help. They need help for